Hi, my name is Zayra and today we are going to explore one of the most important art movements in history of art. So let's get started. The Impressionism was an artistic movement of the second half of the 19th century between the years 1860s and the 1890s. By the end of this year, the style was already recognized and had great popularity around the world. Following an art movement such as the Romanticism, the Impressionism was really important for the history of art for several significant reasons. For example, the technical innovation. The Impressionist artists developed new painting techniques such as the use of loose and visible brushstrokes and the application of vibrant and bright color directly on the canvas. And these techniques help to create a more vivid and realistic representation of life and movement on the paintings, and also the focus on visual perception. The Impressionism challenged established artistic conventions by prioritizing a subjective visual representation over objective representation of reality. The artists focused more on capturing the momentary essence of the atmosphere that they were seeing rather than strictly adhering themselves to paint exactly what they were seeing. They were more likely to explore different colors and techniques to represent the scene that they were seeing in a more like vivid way. And also the change in the artist's relationship with nature. The Impressionist artists spent more time painting outdoors, observing and capturing natural light and atmosphere. And also they painted a lot of landscapes and urban scenes that these kind of paintings were not like that common in the Romanticism. That was a big change in the art. And also the impact of subsequent movements. This art movement inspired a lot of new art movements like the Fauvism, the post-impressionism that has a lot of relevance also. The Impressionism emerged during a period of significant political, social, technological change in France. So several key historical and social factors contributed to the development of Impressionism. The first one is the industrialization. The urbanization led to significant change in society. The urban growth brought about a shift in lifestyles as people moved from the rural areas to the cities in search of work or education, result in a new social dynamics and cultural shifts. And also the technological advancements. The invention of portable paint tubes and the ability to prepare canvases allowed the artists to explore the mobility and flexibility in their work. This facilitated the practice of painting in plain art or outdoors, and which became a really remarkable thing or characteristic of this movement. There were also a lot of social changes, like the rise of the bourgeois and the middle class created a new art market. like the demand of art increased, that they were more likely to ask for paintings that reflected the contemporary life, and the artists also came from a middle class background, so they were like trying to portray that in their paintings. Also, the artistic influences. The artists of this movement were influenced by a variety of different art movements, like the romanticism or realism. So they tried to break like these rules that they had in the romanticism, and they explore different and new ways of representing life, and also emphasizing the representation of light, shadows, and color. Well, here we have some of the most important artists of this movement. The first one is the most famous one. His name is Claude Monet. He is often regarded as the creator of the Impressionism movement, because one of their artwork called Impression Sunrise give the name to the whole movement, and also his series of water lilies are the perfect example of the movement focus on capturing light and movement. So he's a big representant of the whole movement. The second one is Edouard Manet. While he's not considered an impressionist strictly, Manet's innovative techniques and subject matter influenced many impressionist artists. His painting Luncheon on the Grass and Olympia challenged academic norms and paved the way for the impressionist movement. And also Pierre Auguste Renoir, who is known for his vibrant and paintings of modern life. Her paintings are often feature scenes of pleasure and social interaction, such as the Dance à le Moulin de la Galette and Illusion of the Boarding Party, that are the most famous and representatives of this movement. There are a lot of artists, but these are the ones that paved the way to the other ones, like Edgar Degas or Camille Pissarro. Here we are reviewing some of the principal characteristics of the techniques and of the movement. The first one is the loose brushwork. The Impressionist artists employed loose and visible brushstrokes that were often applied like rapidly and without meticulous blending. This technique aimed to convey the freshness and spontaneity. They give us the impression that they were doing it in a rush. And also the representation of light and color. Impressionists were particularly interested in capturing the effects of light and color in their works. They use unmixed colors directly on the canvas to create the illusion of natural light and the atmospheric conditions. Like in a lot of paintings, they're like the illusion of like humidity or something like that. and also the capturing fleeting impressions. The impressionist paintings often feel like they're capturing like a quick moment, like making you feel like you're right in the scene. Like they are not capturing like people standing in or posing, but like doing things in a normal way and of her daily life. That makes gives you the impression that you are right in the scene. And they also want to show how light, weather, and movement change things. So the paintings look full of life and movement. They also focus on everyday subjects. The Impressionist artists broke away the traditional academic art by choosing to paint everyday scenes rather than historical or mythological or religion subjects like in previous movement like Renaissance or Romanticism. They capture landscapes, city life, leisure activities, and ordinary people living ordinary lives. They were they were reflecting like the cultural change of their era, and also the emphasis on atmosphere and mood. The Impressionist artists create a mood and atmosphere by playing with color, lights, and composition. The soft edges create this effect like kind of blurry that they use to contribute to a visual harmony and kind of a dreamy quality. Mm, Here we have some of the most remarkable work of Claude Monet. The first one is called Impression Sunrise, is a famous painting created in the 1872. This work is considered one of the most representative pieces of the Impressionist movement. It's the one that I mentioned before that gives name to the whole movement. Because it's the perfect example of the things that the Impressionist movement want to represent, like their technique, color, and vibe that they want to portray, and also the series of water lilies in the woman with a parasol are um, most are the most remarkable paintings. They share like the technique and the vibe, the color palette. The Impressionism influenced a lot of different art movements like the post-impressionism, Fauvism, neo-impressionism that were really famous and important for the history of art. My personal position on this art movement is that it's one of my favorites because of the change on perspective and subjects. It basically liberated the artist from painting mythological and religious images. And I also love the vibrant colors and the techniques that they were using. So that's it. Thank you so much for your attention, and I hope you learned something about this incredible art movement.